in your writing, you've been able to see what attracts folks, what resonates, what goes viral, what doesn't. I think that you can apply the same thing to marketing, is that people do marketing the same old boring way. And so how do we be remarkable in online writing? In particular, let's focus on LinkedIn for the moment, because you caught my attention. What was it about your writing that you think you're doing right that catches my attention and others?
Well, the first thing is I firmly believe renewable energy, and I have a bit of evidence to support this based on clients of the company I'm at now, but is relatively apolitical and has a myriad of benefits. But we don't do a good job of advertising to the people that aren't attracted to the rah community, let's save the world green marketing. So that's a big part of it. There's so many people, like when you say, if you are targeting a rural area, you don't talk about let's save the world. You talk about independence. You're going to have power when things aren't reliable. You're going to have power when the zombies come. That kind of message is so important. And I think we miss that when we're leaning towards one political side of the aisle and we're talking about only saving the environment and only saving the planet and more community focused stuff.
Is there anything that you advise your clients to stop doing?
One thing I've noticed, and this is something that kept me in business for so long, well, not so long, it was less than a year, but one thing that got me tons of business is that even billion-dollar companies in this industry have the worst websites you've ever seen. And it's so interesting to see how there's so much of, I always advise people to stop being so technical and start just using the classic, people are good at it on the sales side, but when they're conveying it to the website, they start talking about this inverter is going to do this for this long and blah, blah, blah. And consumers don't care about that. People want to know, how is this going to help me? And there are people who are more technical, and you need to demonstrate that you know what you're talking about. But when your homepage of your interview or your homepage of your website is, we're using this brand of whatever, and it does this and this technique, people are just going to, their eyes are going to glaze over because they want to know, what is this going to do for me? How is this going to help me save money? How is this going to improve my life or make me look good to the company that I work for?
Right. Yeah. I find that folks will try to sell the so what, or they'll try to sell the the meal itself. Like they always say, sell the sizzle, not the steak. And companies that maybe have the greatest next in class inverter, instead of saying minimize downtime, they say most efficient operating XYZ component, right? You're absolutely right. That's a really good point. I find that a lot of folks, actually, one of the things that I find is that folks obsess on, even though they get it wrong, their website and discount the power of content marketing. And then when we talk about content marketing, what do folks mostly think about? They think about writing. But the trend today suggests that more people are going to audiobooks and videos for learning than they are to writing, right? If they're going for writing, they're probably not looking on LinkedIn for deep learning. They're going to Medium, right? They're going to Medium or somewhere like that. Is there anything that you found that's actually working on LinkedIn? What got you the most views?
Personal stuff seems to work really well. Collaborations do really well. Like the post I wrote about talking to you for that little, 5-minute interview that we did really well. I don't think in terms of likes and views, I never did particularly well on LinkedIn. Not like some incredible creator. I think solar is a more niche industry. And I also think that the style of writing that does really well makes me want to vomit. And even though I've experimented with it a little bit, it's just too hard for me to sell my soul completely. But I think the stuff that did really well was personal wins, personal anecdotes of traveling, that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I see. A friend, David Peñalva, recently did one that basically was a few pictures from his early career, and essentially like a story of his career arc to entrepreneurial life. And that seemed to really resonate with folks. The things that we see that people are clicking on the most and getting the most likes and comments, not surprisingly on LinkedIn, are, hey, I have a new job. Right.
Right.
And a quick attention hack. I see so many people that will click on the button, hey, congratulations, which is like an automated thing on LinkedIn. And even if I'm the person that's posting it, that I've got a new job, I'm not even paying attention to the ones that are like the obvious canned responses. Congratulations, kudos. Something that I've used that has gotten me more DMs from people is, hey, love that your career is going to the next level. What's the first thing you expect to take as an action in this new job? Feel free to DM me a
Yeah.
response, right? If
Yeah.
yeah, like really the comment section of LinkedIn is where the magic happens. And I think that people overlook that.
So, and going back to, I've met some incredible people on LinkedIn, and my favorite accounts are satirical accounts. And there's a couple really good ones. I can't remember the guy's name right now, but he's so funny. He's British and bald and has a gray beard and just writes all this silly content about, he calls himself a boast writer.
Post.
Um,
That's awesome.
yeah. And so there's, going back to that scatological metaphor from earlier, I think I've met so many interesting people in my life, not just on LinkedIn, where you go to the places where people love eating poop and they have that kind of vacant, vapid look in their eyes and they're like, isn't this the greatest thing you've ever seen? And then you find the people who are making fun of them, and those are your people. And LinkedIn for me is a giant version of that because it's such a good filter of like, for the people who are like, hey, isn't that kind of dumb? Like, you meet some really intelligent, interesting people when you are able to, it's, that to me is a good filter. Like I said,
Were there any websites or resources beyond grid alternatives that were on your radar in the early part of your career search?
in the early part, no, because I was completely ignorant. I mean, it's like that. Alex Hormozy draws that beautiful bell curve where you have in the beginning of anything, you are in the phase of uninformed optimism.
Uh-huh.
And that's where I was at the beginning. And then you fall into the valley of informed pessimism.
Yeah.
And it's only when which is where most people leave. And it's only when you get past that you're in informed optimism. So there really wasn't anything at the beginning. I was just looking for renewable energy jobs, and grid alternatives was the one that I qualified for and was able to go through.